It's a really warm day in England today, so we've all got our shorts on because it is far too hot. And what we do today, well, I'm going to be trying to get the wiring loom out. That'll either be by feeding it through here, or worst comes to worst, we'll just cut it out. Yeah, we'll see how we go with that one. But we can't be welding near it, obviously, because the wires are perfect. They still are really flexible. Damaging them would be really annoying. And we'll be trying to put the floors in, as well as doing the chassis leg.
Yeah, we'll fit that.
You can see there's new metal been fitted. It just needs to be welded in. I think that's...
Yeah, when we get the floor in, we'll put the what do you call it? The outrigger. That.
Yep.
That'll go in. Goes in here somewhere. There you can see we marked it where it has to go. Marked the chassis like. And we'll try and get the back. So this has all been cleaned up. We patched that because there was a hole in it, so that's all been patched nicely. All of the old floor's been taken off. We need to patch this, which we'll do. We need to put a patch in here as well. There and there. And then we'll fit the rear floor because it actually butts up. We've taken this off already. We're going to cut a new panel to go in there. Just a lip. And then the floor goes up onto that. Yeah, that's the plan.
Let's get the wiring harness out of the car in preparation for welding, and then it'll be sent off to sandblasting. You can't have any wiring in the car while sandblasting. That needs to be put somewhere. The blue light. Yeah, and that's obviously because, you know, if any of the rubber gets stripped back on wires, you know, you've then got a fire hazard, which, I mean, goes without saying, not very good.
What we're going to do is we will check the loom, but the car was only 15 years old when it stopped being used.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, you know, the wiring's never seen sun or anything. It's still, all the wires are still really soft. They're not very stiff. The ones at the boot are a bit stiff. But aside from that, it's all right. You know, any wires that will inspect all the wires, obviously, when the car goes back together, and it'll be any that need replacing or fixing will be. You know, so you can't. Wiring is one of the most important things on cars like this, because you get it wrong, they go on fire. But, one thing, if you ever do wiring, the one thing you do is mark everything. Take videos of everything, tell yourself, because at the time you'll go, oh, you know, oh, I'll remember where that went. You come back to it later, no idea, and that's the problem. And you always have problems like that. You've got to mark your wiring. Luckily for this car, we have a wiring diagram, so if something goes wrong, if the label comes off, it's fine. But that's not always the case. You know, some cars, it's really hard to get wiring diagrams or they're messed up, and sometimes you have to start from scratch. Lucky with this thing, it hasn't been messed with that much. It's only kind of the front end, some fan wiring got put in, but that's easily reversible. And once again, we have a wiring harness and a full fuse box, which is in really good condition, and we've got brand new pieces for this, so yeah, it'll be absolutely fine. But you know, you can't damage wiring harnesses, you've got to be really careful.
I'll pass this stuff up because there's a whole load on the floor here.
Yeah, I need a hand with this anyway.
Yeah. What are you doing now?
I am unscrewing these brake master. Not master cylinders, sorry. Brake fluid reservoirs.
Oh, right, yeah.
There we go. They're in alright condition
It's
actually.
in really good condition.
Do with a polish and then they'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll put them in. So they stay full of fluid.
No, not really. This is important. This is the brake like T-junction, and it goes from the driver's side brake booster to various other lines, but you've got the brake booster. That goes into the brake booster, and that comes out. Right, it goes here on this side of the firewall. Not firewall, sorry, this side of the inner wing.
So Peter's just gonna, this was all wrecked as you remember. So it's a double skin, but we're gonna put the, weld this back on, then we'll weld the floor in place. I'll cover my eyes because
Right, this is a fuel vent. It vents the top of the petrol tank, or gas tank, as you guys across the pond would say. It's snapped, obviously, because it's really brittle and terrible. That's one end. The other end goes under here. And obviously, normally it would loop round, and then that end would go into the tank, but obviously the tank's not in anymore. Anyway.
we're going to cut a hole in here so we can plate that at the back. And we had to cut this out because this was rotten. It wasn't thick enough. Yeah, that's going to be plated again. So while Peter's prepping the floor, I'm going to clean up and paint the welding surfaces of the floor panel so that it'll be painted. Some of the paint will come off, but we're going to make sure we seam seal everything afterwards anyway, so best to paint the new surfaces obviously. It may not have been done the first time, but we're going to do it. Pretty simple really. Panel white. Needs to be rubbed down obviously so the paint will take. And we'll just do the outside. The rest we'll do with a proper spray gun. Do a nice finish on the inside, but it's just the outside where it's going to be welded to the floor itself. So we've had one coat. We'll give it another coat in a minute, and that one's a little bit dry. And then that's ready to go in.
Wafer thing.
Follow me forward. Oh,
I'm just trying to find out what you're doing.
degreaser. I'm testing the parts washer. I've assembled it all. So it's just the funnel. See how it works. Check everything's working.
Because
I built it properly.
the car's going off soon
Yep.
to Sussex, West Sussex, to get sandblasted. Hopefully within a week or so. Oh wow!
Sorry.
What was that?
I slipped.
Here, why don't I hold it and you pour?
Alright, man. I know I should pour it over, but I can't. It's only a slight splash.
Floor needs a clean anyway.
Yeah, exactly. See the floor some kids. So So we've set the parts washer up, it's working, and well, you can see the difference. This is what it looked like before, crusty, full of crap like that. And look at it now, it's nice, it's got aluminium, you can see the Armstrong logo and all the part numbers and stuff. It's perfect, it looks lovely.
Excellent.
Really shiny, needs a bit more on
You
this
do that
side.
inside.
Cool, but yeah.
Yeah.
The floor's going in, but there's quite a bit of adjustment to do. But we've trimmed it. We've got obviously we took the back off it because you just can't get in with the back on. We'll weld the back onto it. But we knew when we bought the parts that they do need quite a bit of adjustment. So we're just going to adjust. We're going to tack it at the front because we've marked it inside, so we know exactly where it needs to go. And then we can then start going around and getting all the other levels right. Look, I know there's a huge gap at the back, but we decided that the best place to really cut the floor was at the back, because that's where the problems were, and it actually got it to fit really nicely. It's on the lines. Bit of work to do to get it, make sure it stays flat, but we can do that. We've got an amazing.
Getting there.
Yeah, and yeah, it's nice to see a bit of floor in it.
I don't know.
Hey, Alex. Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool, isn't it?
it does look very
Yeah.
good.
I'll show you from the other side quickly. Look, perfect. Lines up with everything. I know we've got to push all this in, but it goes in. You can see it does. It's just it's obviously the bit of flex on the floor, but it's reasonably flat as well. This needs a bit of adjustment here, but it's because we took that off. But we'll weld that onto the other side and cut and adjust. But look at that bit of floor.
Fresh steel.
Bit of fresh steel. Very happy with that. The piece we cut off, and obviously the corner doesn't come with the floor anyway. You've got to rebuild that out of sheet. So yeah, really happy with that. It's going to look fantastic. And considering that's the first one we've done and it's perfectly lined up, it was a pretty well made part.
So, here we are again. We're about to leave, but this might be in the middle of the video, doesn't matter. We'll tell you, you'll see when. But consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing. You know, it's free. If you don't like it later, you can always unsubscribe, but helps us a lot. So, yeah, thank you so much.